Good morning, folks. This is Kimberly Jesika reporting in live today from Hollywood, California. And I just have to say, I'm having the opportunity to interview a very aspiring young woman. She inspires me, I have to tell you that. This young lady is a multi-talented actress, singer. She's an all-around Renaissance woman. She's an attorney. She writes scripts. She writes plays. She's a music singer. She writes music. She works with Grammy winners. She's been seen in NBC Latino. She's gotten shouted out by Eva Longoria. She has written for Latin Heat. The list just goes on with what this young woman does. She's also a lawyer. I mean, seriously, she is, she was a solo practitioner as a lawyer and was able to really take a look at how the law was ran. This lady's all around, and she's amazing. I'm just lost for words because you don't find someone that has this much going on in so many positive directions and so many high prestigious directions every single day. So without further ado, please welcome Vanessa Verduga to our podcast that will be featured on the Huffington Post. Yay!
Hi. Thanks so much for having me.
It is our pleasure, Miss Beautiful Vanessa. You know what I didn't mention, too, is that you've won awards. You know what I mean? You've won awards for your web series, Justice Woman. You have you've won, Sexy Woman, Best Sexy Actress Award in 2014 by the Rome Web Awards. You're a Golden Star. You had a Golden Star Award at the 2015 Rome Web Awards in Italy. Hello. I mean, seriously, what haven't you done? I mean, can I be you when I grow up? Just drop you off, and I'll give it back when I'm done.
I mean, the thing is that there are things in life that happen that make you realize that there is that your dreams matter. And that there comes a point where you have that turning point where everything that you think is success as defined by other people's, standards isn't really what you want in your heart. And then you just have to learn to follow your own thing, your own heart. And that's kind of what happened to me, which led me to everything that, that as you mentioned, I'm a lawyer, and I grew up in the Bronx, and one of the things was I always wanted to be an actress, singer, dancer, and I did that when I was a child, but, it wasn't a feasible career choice for someone who grew up in the Bronx, first generation. I was born here, raised by my single mother who's from Ecuador, and so it was kind of like I had to give up on my dreams, but it wasn't until I went to law school. In law school, I came back to acting because I joined the theater group, and I just decided this is what I want to do. This is where I'm most happy. And I did open up my practice after law school just because I wanted to have time to be able to act and continue pursuing, my artistic endeavors. And I did go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and everything. And that's where I got all my I realized that I had all these stories in me, and one of them was the one for Justice Woman, which is the web series, where she's an assistant district attorney, and at night she becomes a mass vigilante who fights for justice against the corruption that's going on in the legal system. I mean, it's right now, given the political climate that we have in this country, we're starting to realize that so much of that corruption that people think are conspiracy theories are starting to come to light. And it's like, no, not everybody is a conspiracy theorist. And granted, there are some things that are probably not true out there that, and it's up to us to seek the truth. So that's where I got my inspiration from not only did I get my inspiration from my law thing and create a Justice Woman, but even Justice Woman gave back to me and made me a more empowered woman. And she's the one that gave me kind of like she was the impetus for me to just go on and continue writing my plays, which right now is going to be staged here in New York City at The Implications of Cohabitation, which is a dark comedy about a family, an Ecuadorian family, and that's one of the things that I'm now doing. And I'm also recording my first solo album,
Yes, please tell us. Tell us about your new song that's coming out. I just need to listen to it. It's so cute. You got a little rap in there too. I'm like, okay, I'm loving it. Owner of my heart. Tell me about it. And then you have your album coming out, the woman, La Mujer. Tell us about your albums and your songs.
Okay, so the album came about. I grew up in the Bronx, and I moved to LA like about 2 years ago, and I've been going back and forth from New York and LA ever since. But in LA, I've like made friends with people in the music industry and everything. And as much as I got encouraged to start, just record something, do a cover, do this, do that. And at first I was a little bit reluctant because, I love musical theater and my singing was mostly like, well, I'm going to do show tunes and and karaoke and audition for musicals because I've done musicals. But, I started to say, well, I don't want to just do a cover. I kind of want to do something of my own. I want to challenge myself. And I surprised myself that I was actually writing. And the reason that I have some hip-hop in there also is because for some reason, rap, rhythm and poetry comes a little easier to me. And, of course, it happens because, I grew up with hip-hop in my heart. From the Bronx,
Of course, yeah. You're from the Bronx. That it breeds it there.
And also being Latina, I just had to. I absolutely love the genre, the urban Latino genre, and the fusion that's happening in that music in that genre with Nicky Jam collaborating with Enrique Iglesias, Shakira collaborating with other also reggaeton artists, and she's doing a lot of her own stuff. And J-Lo, it's like it's all this fusion of Latin artists and Latin rhythms and everything coming together to put forward this urban Latino music, which was frowned upon before. And so I'm like, no, this is great. This is something to be proud of. And for me, it just felt like it's a no-brainer. This is my music, and this is what I'm going to do. And so I wrote Owner of My Heart. I recorded it. I have my producer is DJ Napolis, and worked with Randy Whiskey also, and my vocal producer is Kenny O'Brien. These are all
legends. Legends.
Yeah.
They're legends.
So
you are doing some amazing things. It's time for, in terms of, of course you have J-Lo and you have Pitbull, but, Big Pun has been gone for a minute. Fat Joe comes and goes. You know what I mean? We need to do something here. You know what I mean? And we have Monchi Alessandra from, bachata, Dominican music. Yeah. But it's and of course I used to love India, back in the day, India she's a singer. And then you had Victor Manuel. Now we have Vanessa. You know what I mean? It's like time to be on the forefront. What do some of the songs mean to you? Are some of the songs, I hear your album is very strong, which is I Am Woman. What does that mean for you, Vanessa?
Well, it means that as a woman, I'm very complex. And I'm sure that it happens to a lot of us. We're complex.
But we don't talk about it, and I love that you're putting that out there. So please share with us. You got my attention.
Everybody's constantly trying to put us in a box. And trying to tell us how society's trying to tell us what to do and how to do it. And I'm like, no, I'm a woman. Even when I was doing this album, one of the reasons that I chose Latin fusion, and when you hear my album, I do have bachata, and I have some reggaeton, and I have some cumbia, and I just have a whole mix of stuff, electro Latino, and the thing is that is who we as a culture, as Latinos are, and that's who women are also. We're not just this one-track-minded, group of people who are just like, we're going to fit within the norms of society. It's like, no, it's about a woman talking about, and Owner of My Heart pretty much talks about how it came from a couple of experiences that I've had with nice guys who just can't take no for an answer. And it's not a bad thing necessarily, but it's just in their heads it was like, well, I don't understand. I'm being so good to you. Isn't this what you want? Don't you want to get married? Don't you want to have kids? And I'm just like, why would you assume that? And why would you assume that because I'm available and single? Because I'm single means that I'm available. I am perfectly happy enjoying who I am and what I'm doing, and my life doesn't really revolve around a biological clock or somebody proposing to me. And and that's where, you know, I was like, there's a lot of things that women deal with. Even some of my other songs talk about, like, you know, just there's a song that is pretty much about, look, just because I'm you know, we're here, we're dancing, doesn't mean, you know, take advantage. It doesn't mean disrespect me. You know, and that's something, and especially in this culture now that it's been so hypersexualized, that, and especially also in the urban Latino genre. I mean, I love the genre very much, and I love the direction it's now taking. But it started out as a very, sometimes there are some artists who objectify women a little too much. And being the warrior that I am, I mean,
you are a warrior. Justice woman. You're getting justice for people that can't get it for themselves.
Right. Being Justice Woman, I was like, no, I have to break down this barrier, and I need to show people that you can do this type of music and have other types of lyrics. Not all the lyrics have to be about, like, you know, what a great booty you have and how I'm going to do this and that.
I'm going to turn it upside down and flip it and turn it over and turn it inside out. I'm like, seriously, dude, I mean, did your mother hear your music? Because this is really gross. The fetishes that they have, the hang-ups of the booty and the this and the, you know, the camel toe. And, like, you guys are really kind of disgusting.
Yeah. And that has to, you know, and part of me is like, no, we need to change that and we need to own that as women. And that's why I decided, you know, to call my album Soy Mujer. Soy Mujer is also one of the titles of the song that I have, which is, you know, Soy Mujer, dueña de mi vida soy. It's like I am woman, owner of my life I am. I go wherever I choose to go. And, you know, it's like you can't tell me what to do, who to be, and I'm not here on this earth to please you.
For you, or to please you.
To please you, to whoever it is, you know, to society, to men, to women, whatever it is, to anybody. It's like, no, we are individuals and we need to be respected as such, and we can do what we please and not have to be judged or put up to anyone else's standards but our own. Whatever those are, that's our decision. Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. You making the decisions for yourself, not falling into the stereotype of what you should be, and not being the stereotype of what music, a lot of times music, you know, it over-sexualizes women in such the most grotesque, disrespectful way. And I have a problem with that. I mean, in the 90s, I did bump to Biggie and all that, you know what I mean? But as you get older, you start really, well, for me, as I got older, I started really looking at how I'm perceived in the world. And I started looking at how I wanted to appear in the world. And being, you know, perceived as a person from that kind of music, or because I'm from a certain community, or because I'm from a certain culture, is not something that I chose to do. So I chose to make life based on what I wanted it to be and how I wanted to show up. And it's so important, like you said today, with Justice Woman and what you're doing, because you're sending a message out there that, no, the rape culture is huge right now. I mean, guys are getting 3 months for raping women. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So with you doing this kind, it's almost like a movement, like Gloria Steinem is back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I hear a little Gloria Steinem in there, who was the feminist movement queen. And it was the feminist movement. What a lot of people don't understand is that it was for those women that were from the 50s that were abused. They were, you know, they were wives. They didn't have jobs. They weren't allowed to have jobs. They weren't allowed to terminate pregnancies. They weren't allowed to say they wanted not, you know, they didn't want to have kids. And so she created this movement for women to say, I am her. I am more than what you are making me out to be. And I love the fact that you said you're complex. You're owning it. You know, you're saying you're perfectly imperfect, and you love it. So that, you know, that's the beauty of what you're doing, Vanessa.
Yeah, no, thanks so much. I agree. It's like, and that's what I want. I want to empower other women also to jump in the field and do the same thing. I mean, you're doing it, you know, so you know what it takes, and that's, it's such an empowerment. And if I can reach out to more women and more girls, especially, because I am very conscious now about what I do and what I put out there not because, you know, as much as I say, yeah, it should be our decision and everything like that, I'm also like, I know where I stand on my issues. I don't listen to anybody anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But there are easily impressionable young girls out there, and I want them to know that there is, you know, they do have role models to look up to, and they don't have to, you know, do anything to please anybody but themselves.
Mm-hmm. But themselves. That's the key word, is but themselves. So your first single is coming out tomorrow. When can we expect a music video and you know, like, yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
We need to get your MTV page going. Like, seriously, you got it going on with this thing.
The single comes out tomorrow, and it's going to be distributed worldwide everywhere. You can also hear it. It's called Owner of My Heart, and it'll be on iHeartRadio, Pandora, everywhere, iTunes, Spotify, blah, blah, blah. And
wow.
The full, I have a lyrics video that'll be the initial video coming out, so you can, at least people can learn the lyrics and kind of sing along. And then the video I will be releasing sometime in the fall. Instead, because I have so many things going on right now that I just don't want to, like, I want to kind of like stream it along. But in the fall, and by the fall, you know, it's like more people it will have gained more traction, more people will have heard it, and I will release the video on Vivo and MTV and everywhere else. And then I will also be coming out soon thereafter with my second single of the album.
Wow. Now tell us, when is Justice Woman coming out? Is it coming to regular TV soon? Broadcast television soon?
We're working on that. However, things are so chaotic right now in the TV realm, and his pilot getting canceled left and right, people losing money for projects. It's so crazy. So right now,
oh my gosh,
I'm letting the pieces fall where they may with Justice Woman, the TV series. But the web series, the final season is coming out, I'm hoping. No, it will come out. Also in the fall. So the fall is going to be a very busy time for me as well. So I'm going to be releasing the final season of Justice Woman, and I also have a New York Comic-Con coming up.
Oh, when is that coming up?
I don't have the dates exactly right now off the top of my head.
I need to get over there to New York Comic-Con.
Yeah. And then, but in the meantime, for this month of August, what I'm doing is I'm going to be promoting my single, but I'm also going to be live on stage performing at the Quirman Theater Row, which is on 42nd Street in New York City, between 9th and 10th Avenue. My play. I wrote a play.
Yes, you did. And you have some amazing actors. Tell us about your play quickly. Tell us about your play.
Yes, well, it's about an old-fashioned Ecuadorian father who wants to get reacquainted with his 3 adult kids by inviting himself to live with each one of them one at a time, which leads to some cohabiting situations that are just wickedly funny, but also it gets to the heart of the problems, the past family problems that they've had. So, you know, and things get a little bit more complex when the middle child, who is Sarah, who's played by me, the middle child comes back into his life, but she's a child of an extramarital affair that he had.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it's complex, but I try, because I tend to write comedy a lot, and that's my way of dealing with a lot of pain and dealing with a lot of sorrow and things like that. It's just, you know, comedy for some reason is where I feel my most comfortable. So I can't really give you a drama straight up. So I
love it, though. I love it. That's huge. I love it. You know, it's talking about serious things that have happened in life, and how do you fix that after all the pain that's happened? How does that get fixed and turned into a beautiful story? And I feel that that's what you're doing.
Yeah, that is. I mean, you know, and it's a real story, and what I'm so proud about also is the fact that you know, it's a regular story. It's about a family. It's a universal theme, because we all go through stuff in our own family with our parents and daddy issues and maybe mommy issues and all these other things that happen to us. But I love that, you know, it's being told from a perspective that normally doesn't get seen very much, which is the Latino family. And, you know, so it's kind of like, it's to show people, well, we're no different. than everybody else. We suffer from, you know, we have the same issues. Our families are just as dysfunctional. You know, no one's crazier than nobody else, so we're all a little nutty, and that's it.
Exactly. So, well, you know, I'm so excited about what you have coming up. You know, I'm just like I said, I want to be you when I grow up. You know, I love what you're doing. You know, I would love to bring you back on. I'd love to talk about what you experienced being a lawyer. I'd love to bring you back on to talk about that. Those are social issues that I think that we need to face. And we can't be afraid to raise our voices and say, hey, you know what, I don't care if you're white, black, Republican, Democrat. If this is wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't have a title to it. It's freaking wrong, period. You know what I mean? So, you know, I would love to bring you back to talk about that. And I'd love to bring you back to talk about Justice Women and continue to hear all the amazing things you have going on. Vanessa, thank you so much for interviewing with us today. How can we get in touch with you on social media? How can we contact you?
Sure. Well, thank you first of all for having me. And you can contact me at, I have a website, which is VanessaVerduga.com, and my last name is spelled V as in Victor, E-R, D as in David, U-G-A, and it's Vanessa, V-A-N-E-S-S-A, VanessaVerduga.com. And you can find me on Facebook at Vanessa Verduga Official. On Instagram, also Vanessa Verduga Official. On Twitter, it's VV, my initials, VV1004, and that's October 4th for my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you can also...
Balanced Libra. You were meant to be a lawyer. You have the scale.
Yes. And then basically, I was just going to say my music website is laverduga.com, which is L-A-V as in Victor, E-R-D-U-G-A.com.
Even the last name tiene poder. You know, La Verduga. Poder. It's powerful.
It is. It's executioner. It's somebody who has a lot of power over someone else's life.
You were meant to be a lawyer. You were meant to have position of power. You could be a Evita Peron. Seriously. You could run a country, Vanessa. Yeah, you could. I mean, if people see your stuff, they would understand that. They'd be like, okay, this chick should be in politics. I mean, maybe in 30 years. Who knows? But that's where I'm predicting for you. Politics later on, because you definitely have a voice. You have something to say. And actually, I want to listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, people have things to say, but you don't even want to hear them. Like, I don't want to hear it. You know, but I actually want to hear it. So, but anyway, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to have you on the show today. And, you know, I can't wait to, you know, hear more of what you have going on. I love your little song. It's so cute. I love it. I was listening to it. It has so much funk. You guys got to get out there and get the song. How can they get the song? Where can we buy the song at?
You can get it on iTunes. You can also look for it on iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify. You can get it at Amazon right now. Amazon's free selling it right now for today. If you get it today, you can get it for less than what you'll pay for it tomorrow. What else? There's so many other sites.
Okay. We're going to go check it out for sure. Yeah. Well, thank you again, Vanessa. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch.
Sounds good. All right.
Take care, sweetie. Have a wonderful day. You too, my friend. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.